The Bootstrap framework works as a group or a set of columns and rows that creates a gridded layout. So we're going to work on that, and we're going to work on adding containers, rows, and columns to start building that grid for Bootstrap. So inside the body tag, we're going to create our first container, and it's going to be a div. Go down and close the div. And we're going to give it a class. Div class equals container. That way it knows to use the container formatting from the Bootstrap framework. While we do this, we're going to use HTML comments to comment our code so we know what we're up to, because we're going to code a lot of grid components. So after the closing div, remember, an HTML comment does not affect the way it looks in a browser. This is just code for you, the developer, to use as a roadmap to understand what you're coding. So after that, we're going to use the comments of HTML syntax, caret, exclamation point, 2 dashes, give it a space, and here's your comment. You're going to say end of container. Give it a space, 2 dashes, and a caret. And there's your first part of our container, rows, and columns to build our grid. I'm going to give this a little space. We're going to build a row now. So we're going to use a div again to build the row. Div class equals quotations row. Close that. Come down here a little ways. And let's close that row. And we're going to put our HTML comment that says row. So here's your caret. Here's your exclamation point, 2 dashes, space. You're going to put slash that say end of row, space, and 2 dashes, and our caret. So we've started with a container. Now we have our row. And then now we're going to put in a couple of columns. We're building the grid. Let's put 2 columns inside the row. Remember, rows go across horizontally and columns go up and down vertically. So once again, let's use a div. Class equals call for column. And let's close our column. And let's add a second column. Now let's put our comments in. Exclamation dash dash slash end. And let's use what the book's using for syntax, dot call. We need our 2 dashes in there. Let's go back and clean up our other comments. Let's put a dot for the row, a dot for the container, just to be good with the book. So we need another column, and instead of coding that, I'm just going to copy it to get our second column. Put it in here, return, and paste that. So now we have a container, then we have a row, then we have two columns on inside that row. And I'm going to clean up this space just a little bit just to make it look neater. All right, so let's save that and see what it looks like in the browser. And there's nothing different because there's no content. Let's do this. I know the book wants us to put images in, but I'm just going to do a quick test. In each column, I'm just going to put a letter. I'm going to put letter A in the first column, letter B in the second column. Save that. All right, so there's our A and there's our B. We scale the page, it responsively shrinks. So the book wants to put an image into each of these columns. So let's go back and replace our letters with an image.